Coming up on Samford News Network, campus police recently released their 120-day crime report. Hear what officers say students can do to protect themselves from some common crimes.
And Birmingham Southern is officially closing its doors after this semester. Find out how Samford is helping BSC students become Bulldogs.
And with just 2 weeks remaining in the semester, many Samford seniors are looking back at their time on campus. Hear how some seniors are celebrating graduation. SNN starts right now.
Hello and welcome to Samford News Network. I'm Caroline Vaccaro.
And I'm Maggie Corbett. Thanks for joining us.
Samford Police recently released their 120-day crime report. From December 14th to April 3rd, Samford had 2 reports of first-degree rape, 1 case of first-degree sexual abuse, 3 incidents of larceny or theft, and 2 harassing communication reports.
SNN's Courtney Roberson met with Chief Taylor to ask what students can do to protect themselves on campus.
Stop signs, cameras, even handrails on Samford campus are all put in place to keep students safe. But there's so much more to campus safety than that. Samford police say that being proactive instead of reactive is the key.
Safety has always been a major part of Samford University. Campus Chief Officer Tommy Taylor is very involved in all areas of campus. During each orientation session, Taylor gives his phone number to every incoming student and encourages them to call for any emergency.
The officers that work here are dedicated to their well-being in every capacity, and that we're here to assist them, and that we're trained in these areas, and most of the officers like myself, we've been doing this a long time. And we take great pride in being able to provide a professional service and a rapid response.
Taylor and his officers frequently visit on-campus organizations to educate students about safety. Chief Taylor says he hopes that this knowledge will help them on campus, but will also follow students when they go out.
Currently, with the way society is now, you see people get really upset really quickly. And while we don't deal with that often here on campus, when you leave those gates, the world that people go into when they leave campus every day is a very different world. And I could see where these skill sets could be really helpful to them.
Well, there you have it. Prevention is vital with Samford's Department of Public Safety. They say that prevention eliminates many dangerous situations on campus. With SNN, I'm Courtney Robeson.
You can reach the Public Safety Office at 205-726-2020.
Samford is opening its doors to students affected by the recent Birmingham Southern closure. Last week, Birmingham Southern College announced that it will be closing its doors for good. BSC has been operating for over 168 years. Samford is included in the BSC Teach-Out Agreement. This ensures BSC students can receive credit for classes already taken as they complete their degree here at Samford. Samford is also waiving application fees and deadlines and suspending on-campus housing requirements. Samford says they have admission counselors available to help all BSC students make the right decision for their next step.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge used to be the most beloved backdrop of Maryland. However, now work crews are working tirelessly to clean up the wreckage after a cargo ship ran into the bridge. Samford business students give us some insight on how the bridge's closure could affect finances worldwide.
The collapse of the bridge raised many safety questions, such as what do you do when driving over a bridge? Sophomore Cade Staley shared advice that he was taught growing up.
I think that although it's probably a very small chance of something actually happening while driving over a bridge, it's always a possibility, and so I know that you should reduce your speed while driving over a bridge. Avoid changing lanes, maybe dramatically.
Not only did the collapse of the bridge cause safety concerns, but also economic concerns, such as what happens to ports that are now unable to send out large cargo ships.
As a business student here at Samford, I know that one specific port, an effect to that can drastically affect other areas of trade in the country. And so it is a problem.
Safety experts recommend drivers should keep a seatbelt cutter and window or glass breakers in their car in case of emergencies.
Bulldogs, believe it or not, we are wrapping up the end of this school year and heading into finals week. The Tutoring Center says they have a few tips for test takers to relieve some of that final stress. First, write out your notes and practice test questions. Writing down things physically helps you retain your material better. Second, experts recommend keeping your phone out of sight while studying to remove distractions. Third, experts recommend taking breaks to avoid burnout. Stretching, taking a quick nap, walking outside, and eating a healthy snack are all great ways to refuel your brain. Finally, find a good study environment. Experts recommend finding a place that is quiet, has few distractions, good internet connection, and that is comfortable to you. I might have to use some of these tips myself. Good luck on your exams, Bulldogs.
For Samford seniors, this is the final chapter in their undergraduate studies, and this senior class has had a lot of challenges, starting at Samford during COVID. SNN's Davis Domesic shows us how seniors are reflecting on their time here.
In 2020, I, along with hundreds of other Samford freshmen, began a new chapter of life. From COVID-19 to connections and classes to carnation balls, the seniors of Samford have been through it all. As this chapter now closes and a new one begins, I got the chance to talk to some select seniors on what their Samford journey has meant to them.
Being a senior, it's very nostalgic. I really love all that Samford has helped me grow in many different ways, and being able to be here for 4 years has been such a pleasure. I've gotten to meet students and professors that have helped me grow academically, personally, professionally.
I'm sad to leave this place. It has meant so much to me over the past 4 years. I just love all the people I've met here, all of the fellow students and professors in the English and JMC department that have just poured into me and been mentors to me.
With so many seniors graduating, Ashley and Rebecca's stories are just a small picture of the magic of Samford University. For SNN, signing off, I'm Davis Domesic.
The senior walk will be April 25th from 5:30 to 7:30. Seniors will start at Brewer Plaza, walk down Centennial Walk to the Wright Center. There will be a program with speakers, prayers, and celebration.
Coming up next on Samford News Network, it's an exceptional Samford tradition. We're happy to show you the results of Samford's Easter egg hunt.
And the Spring Swing and Shop is a way for Samford students to show off their businesses and find some great new stuff. Hear more about this tradition was started after the break. Samford News Network will be right back. Welcome back to Samford News Network. Samford is celebrating women in the workforce with their annual Women in Work Conference.
Our Camilla Figueroa shows us how this business school forum is encouraging women to join fields they may not usually think about.
Around 100 students came during one of the last few weeks of school to attend an event celebrating women's leadership. While Convo credit was offered, students walked away with more than they came with. The Women in Work event put on by the organization Momentum had 24 strong women in the workplace come and speak to students about navigating postgraduate life. Topics discussed in break room format were overcoming imposter syndrome, networking, interviewing, and finding mentors. While this event was held by a women's leadership organization, this didn't stop both the men and women from coming and learning more about these topics. Samford teacher and Momentum member Emily Hines says that this advice is not the only thing students will have gotten with this event.
I think the part they don't realize they're going to get is some contacts, right? They're going to meet a bunch of really amazing businesswomen from the area that work at a lot of organizations where they might want to work someday, and they'll make that's really what networking is about, is finding those contacts and people you can reach out to when it's time. So that's the main thing I think they'll get out.
Besides getting the insight and context of the break room leaders, students also walked away with Momentum swag bags with items that is helpful in a career, like a notepad, pens, and notebooks. The event was considered a success not only because of the amount of people in the Regents Room, but because students learned so much. For SNN, I'm Camilla Figueroa.
You can learn more about Momentum's leadership events by visiting their website, momentumleaders.org.
Every year, Samford students descend on the quad hunting for one thing: Easter eggs. The Samford Student Activities and Events Organization hosts an annual Easter egg hunt on the quad to celebrate the holiday. The event is free for students who run across the quad, scooping up as many Easter eggs into their bags as they can. The eggs contain various prizes, from pieces of candy to coupons in the form of tokens. On March 27th, a crowd of students came out for this year's egg hunt. We asked senior Will Mason what he thought of the event.
A lot more chaotic than I thought it was going to be. I walked up and I thought, okay, there's like a decent amount of crowd, but then like the last 2 minutes before the event happened, additional 100 people came and enjoyed. And I saw people with trash bags. I saw people with Target bags, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm here. I'm getting my 2 eggs. I'm out. I'm done. That's all I need.
The Easter egg hunt is held every year and has been a Samford tradition since 2010.
Last week, Samford's very own Jake Davenport put on a concert at Woodlawn Theater. After his hard work this semester, he debuted a new song called One of the Good Dies Young that will come out in a few weeks. The senior has put on a handful of shows within the last year, but this one was a tearjerker for some. He told the crowd it would be his last one in Birmingham for a while. Davenport will attend NYU in the fall to receive his master's and says none of this would be possible if it weren't for his support team.
It's really bittersweet because it's all coming to an end, but they're always encouraging me. They're always in my corner, and I cannot thank them enough for everything they've done for me.
Davenport told us he has an EP coming out very soon, so be on the lookout for that.
Campus is celebrating a historic Samford Gives Back Day of Service. Organizations from across campus went out into the community to help improve the lives of those around them through acts of service. For example, members of Samford's ATO fraternity served at a local nonprofit called Manufacture Good. Starting around 8 in the morning and going through about 1 in the afternoon, around 75 to 100 Samford students showed up to help. In addition to these students, ATO was holding their annual Moms Weekend, meaning several of the volunteers' mothers also showed up to assist. The crowd then helped clean up the entire campus, from organizing raw materials to pulling weeds to folding firewood bags. They did anything that could take a load off the company's workers so that they could focus on production.
Manufacture Good teaches the heart of workmanship to young men stuck in a rut between the ages of 18 to 35 years old. We offer a paid apprenticeship for young men to experience redemptive work, and we use a big workshop to do it. So we're getting to evangelize and disciple in the community young men that are asking big questions in life and build products for the community.
There were a record-breaking number of students this year. 850 students volunteered for the event. That's a huge jump from 534 volunteers last year.
Students across campus got to show off their business at the annual Spring Swing and Shop event last week. The event is tailored towards student vendors who offer a wide variety of different items. This year at the event, 20 vendors were featured and able to sell their products to the student body. Joined by those students, vendors, the Student Government Association also enjoyed giving away prizes from each of the class councils. The purpose of this event is to network with young student entrepreneurs and provide a collegiate platform to increase sales. If you're interested in setting up a shop for next year, reach out to your class council.
Coming up next on Samford News Network, SNN sits down with Samford Bulldog Jermaine Marshall after the men's basketball team's historic season. You won't want to miss it.
Welcome back to Samford News Network's Bulldog Blitz. I'm Anna Hope Bigham.
And I'm Davis Domestic. The most successful season men's basketball has ever seen is officially wrapping up, and for our seniors, that means saying goodbye.
I met with Jermaine Marshall to hear what he has to say about his years playing buckyball.
It's kind of sad. Like, I hate that it ended. We was on a beautiful run, and it's just sad to now I can't go back to practice with you guys. I'm not gonna be able to see them every day. Everybody kind of going their separate ways. I'm finna get ready to graduate and go over pro, so it's kind of bittersweet.
Going pro is a big deal. It's a huge next step for a young athlete like Jermaine, but he feels fully prepared after his years playing buckyball.
There's a three, splashed by Marshall.
Samford men's basketball created me to the person I am and player I am today. I'm so much better. I read the game, I see the game different. I feel like this was definitely a great stepping stone for me and to start my young career.
Jermaine, a Birmingham local, transferred from Akron into the Samford men's basketball program after Bucky's first season when the Bulldogs went 6-13. Bucky told Jermaine if he came to Samford, he would win the league and play in the NCAA tournament. Jermaine trusted him, and Bucky's promises came true.
I remember in high school playing in Coach Bucky Fall League, and ever since then, he's seen something in me, and so that just made me keep going too as well. I just feel like the things that he did in high school, he can definitely do in college. He had the right team, and I definitely want to be one of the first guys to do it.
Jermaine was definitely one of the first to do it with him.
Yep, great person, great player. He has a lot to be proud of. Samford women's basketball also had a great season, closing out with a loss in the SoCon quarterfinals. SNN's Jackson Tate shows us how the team is reflecting and how they're already preparing for next year.
A promising 4-0 start for the ladies' season resulted in a 14-16 final record. While the team had an impressive home record at 11 wins and 4 losses, their away record was disappointing with only 3 wins and 10 losses. The season ultimately came to a close in early March when the Bulldogs lost to Wofford in the SoCon tournament. Despite the season not living up to expectations, however, many things still went well for Samford. The team filled with a lot of new transfer players and freshmen saw a growth in chemistry that will carry on to next season. Samford also had 3 ladies make All-SoCon honors. Emily Bowman, named 3rd season All-SoCon on All-Defensive Team, reflects on this year's season.
This past season, I got in a few awards. Kennedy got Freshman of the Year, which was really big for us, and then Carly Hyder also got 3rd team. Obviously, that didn't end how we wanted, but we had freshmen, and even me personally, that was my first tournament game playing in college. So we got that experience under our belt, and now we're even more prepared for next year, and just going to keep building off of that.
While the season has just ended, the returning players are already looking forward to next year. As the offseason begins, personal training and hosting visits to sign new recruits now becomes the focal point. Alyssa Tarpley comments on the team's outlook of the offseason ahead.
We're really excited about next season. Again, like I said, it starts now. It doesn't start in August, September when we start really team practicing. But right now, again, just continuing to build that culture forward and push each other every day so that we can go win a SoCon championship.
Although next season is still so far away, the players and Samford students alike are already excited to see what next year's team can do. For SNN, I'm Jackson Tate.
Samford baseball is in full swing. The Bulldogs are currently 21-10 on the season. Undefeated in the Southern Conference, the Dogs just completed a series sweep on the road against the Citadel. They'll face Big Blue Nation, the Kentucky Wildcats, tonight at home. Their next conference series will follow the SEC midweek matchup against ETSU. And just across the diamond, Samford softball is heating up. The Dogs are currently 12-25, yikes, on the season and 5-4 in the conference. Samford softball just completed a series sweep over the #1 team in the SoCon. They'll take the momentum gained from winning the series over UNCG and apply it towards their in-state matchup against Alabama. The Bulldogs and the Crimson Tide face off in the diamond tonight at the Samford Softball Stadium. You can keep up with Samford softball at samfordsports.com.
Samford women's soccer is currently in the off-season, but as SNN's Allie Durbin shows us, one player is trying to make her way back to the pitch.
Joining the Bulldogs in July of 2021, Anna Martin expected challenges, but she did not expect a season-ending injury in her sophomore season that would take her out for her junior campaign as well. On April 11th of 2023, Anna tore her left ACL in one of the last spring practices of the year.
It was our last week of spring practice, and within the first 20 minutes of practice, I tore it.
Anna had surgery on May 30th and was in physical therapy the next day. 5 days a week for the first 3 weeks after surgery, Anna was working to get her knee bending again.
Beginning of my injury, I started rehab the day after surgery. I would go in 3 days a week to a PT clinic and then 2 days a week with my athletic trainer. And the first couple weeks, a lot of it was just trying to get the activation back in my quad, which was hard because those first few weeks were also the most painful.
Anna missed out on her junior season due to her late injury, but worked with her trainer to get back to full strength every day. Anna felt that she was continuously getting stronger, but missed bonding with her teammates. The hardest thing for Anna wasn't missing out on games, but missing the memories her teammates were building without her.
Honestly, the biggest thing that I've missed is obviously being able to play in the games, but also just at trainings, not being able to participate because that's such a big part of being on the team. And that's something that bonds us together so much, is going through the good practices and the bad practices together and creating those memories. So I think the hardest thing has been sidelined for that, to see them create new memories and me not be a part of it.
Although Anna struggled with being left behind for away games, she knew that if she worked hard in PT, she would be back on the field as soon as possible.
Before I got injured, I was not the most technical player. I relied more on my athleticism, and because of this injury, that kind of stripped away the athleticism, if you will, and has forced me to become more technical, which has actually been really cool, like to be able to do that in training sessions recently.
With the 1-year anniversary of her injury coming up, Anna is already back in full contact practice and hopes to play in her first game this Saturday at Vanderbilt. After overcoming many challenges, Anna Martin is excited to get back on the field with her teammates for one last season as a Bulldog. For SNN, this is Allie Durbin.
Thanks, Allie. We're looking forward to seeing Anna and the Lady Bulldogs back on the field this fall. That's all the time we have for today on SNN. It's been a great year at Samford, and we're thankful to have brought you the news.
I'm going to miss the show. From all of us at SNN, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the fall. As always, go Bulldogs.